And we are live. Welcome everyone to the Connected for Real podcast. I'm Rebbetzin Bat-Chen Grossman, and I am a marriage coach for women in business. And today we have Prue. Prue, go introduce yourself. By the way, she's from Australia. I am so cool. I have friends in Australia.
I am. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. And my name's Prue Blennerhassett. I'm an intuitive business strategist and women's transformation catalyst. And I love connecting with women all over the world. So it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we titled this Your Soul Work. Tell me a little bit about that and how we can get in touch with that.
Yeah, for sure. So this is essentially, I guess the foundation of the work I do in the world is supporting women to be able to connect with what it is that they're here to bring forward, from the deepest part of them. So from their soul, from that unlimited, infinite part of each of us, what sits within us. So, I find that, and, definitely it's been true in my own experience that I have been, I've had my own business for like 12 years. And, for a long time, I was working in ways that was kind of like I was just creating things for the market based on what I felt that the market needed and then selling that. And, there wasn't kind of this real connection with, who am I and what is it that I'm actually here to bring forward. So what this is really about is, connecting in with the energetic signature that we have, that we're here to share, and being able to bring that forward and have that be reflected in everything that we share in our businesses. So that's essentially that soul work is all about. For me, it's all about supporting women to dive really, really deep into who they are and to bring that forward for those that they're here to serve the most. So with the transformation that they're here to facilitate, which I term their zone of divinity.
Wow. I love it because I had a call with a friend who said, she thinks she thinks that this is the thing she should do, but then she's looking at the market and she realizes that teenagers need her more, and now there's so much anxiety in the world. Maybe I should go into anxiety and this thing. I was like, okay, there is a lot of everything. Stop trying to get the outside world to tell you what to do and just pause. Like, it's so noisy out there. When you try to be reactive to the world, it's very exhausting.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. There's so much noise out there that, and we often see that with, I often see that with clients or women that, they'll do their website and then almost immediately they'll feel like they need to change their website and then I need to change it again. So it's all this like busy work spent in upgrading the profile and who they are and their messaging, because it's not coming from the truth of who they are. It's coming from, just like you were saying, that external place. And, this is a reflection of, this kind of sense of seeking external validation over internal validation, which, is a big thing, society worldwide for all of us. And I think it's part of our, our individual and collective transformational journey is to come back to ourselves and to really check in and be like, okay, what is it that's true for me? What is it that really matters? What is it that turns my, soul on fire? What is it that I'm here to bring forward?
I love that. I love it. So inspirational. Okay, how do people do that? How do you get in touch with your soul? How do you find what you're here to do?
So I think that there are clues. There's lots of clues. So looking at who you are right now. So not who you were, not who you have been, not who other people think you are, but who are you right now at the depths of your soul. Also looking at, what is it that people, like, what are the words that people use to describe you? What are the words, what are the things that people naturally come to you for help for? All of these kinds of things. And then when we look at our own transformational journeys, when we look at our own stories, there is often a reflection in who we want to support and the transformation that we're best positioned to facilitate for them. There's often clues in our own journey. So what is it that we've overcome, that we've learnt, that we've embodied in our own journey that's had us come to this place of transformation around a particular thing that has been really, really important to us? Because when we're able to identify what that is, and if that is something that feels like, oh my God, yes, like absolutely on fire inside of us, then, and we would do it even if we weren't getting paid anything, it's like, we would still be doing what we're doing because it's what we love to do, then like, this is what we want, right? This is what creates sustainable business for us, when we're doing something that feels so incredibly good.
But isn't it ironic that, most people won't do that thing that they would do anyway because they don't think that it's a business idea? Like, I love helping people, blah, 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 but people don't pay you to help them, like that's not a thing. So it's like, okay, you don't know it's a thing, so you're not willing to make it a thing,
Yeah.
It's almost like we're in our own way.
Yeah, totally. And I think a part of that is because one of the things that I see is that familiarity breeds contempt, and especially in relation to our soul work. So we know ourselves so well, and we know our gifts, like they're our gifts, right? We do them without thinking, without needing to, perceive or plan anything. Like, it's just there. It's a natural part of us. So I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, gifts so easily catch me up.
They're so easy to you that you don't see them. I think that's what
Yes.
you're saying.
Yeah. That's what
Like,
I was saying. But what was your question?
That was my question. I don't remember what the question was, but I think that we were going for the same direction, because I find that the thing that comes the easiest to you is usually the thing you're meant to do, and is usually the thing that people are like, but that's just so easy. Like, that's not work, right?
Yeah. So the thing that I was meaning to say is that a part of it is because familiarity breeds contempt. We know ourselves so well that it's like, that's not special. Why would people pay for that? And another part of it is that we can't see our own brilliance. Like, even me being an intuitive business strategist, like, I'm a business coach essentially. I have other business coaches, like, I have a lot of people that support me in my business to be able to do the things that I support other people to do in their businesses, right? Because when we're in our own business, we can't see everything. We have blind spots. So it's really important to get that support. So I guess the piece of magic that I feel like I ultimately bring to my clients is being able to see them at the deepest level and extract the golden threads and the pieces of their story and who they are that make their work incredible, like absolutely show-stopping. Because it's in each and every one of us, but it's a part of our story, it's a part of our gifts, it's a part of our talents, and it's about being able to weed that out and put it all together in a way that has the offer and the messaging, everything like that being just, like a showstopper, and feeling so incredibly soul aligned for the business owner as well.
I love it. I love it because most people are having such a hard time with their business. What to say, all the copy, all the stuff. And we were just talking about, delegating. Sometimes you're just like, here, write my copy for me. I'm sure you'll do better. But really, that it's like telling someone to declutter your house for you. You cannot delegate certain things. you will write the best copy when it comes from you in this like flow. Yesterday we were at a training and someone said, but I don't know how to come up with content. And he said, if I gave you a mic right now and said, talk about something for 15 minutes straight without stopping, what would you talk about? Right? Because it comes out of you when you're in alignment. There's just no way to stop it. Instead of trying to force it, you're just allowing it to come out. There's a totally different energy to it.
Yeah, totally agree. And you can really feel that difference, can't you, when it's coming from this place of inspiration rather than coming from this place of like, oh my God, I've got to create something. It's so hard kind of thing. It's really, really different. And there is this sacred intersection between who we are at the deepest level and those that we're here to serve, and the messaging that crosses over those two places. Like, it's really, really powerful.
Right. Because once you get really clear on what you're here to do, then it's much easier to find the people who are here to do it with.
Yes.
It's almost magnet to you in a way that, yes, you said exactly what I needed to hear. You put my thoughts into words, that type of energy,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well that, when we're coming from that really soul aligned place and we're doing what we were put on this planet to do, that we light up, right? Our light is shining because we're like, yes, this is it, like, it's just so good, loving life. And again, in that space of, I would do this even if I wasn't getting paid, like, that kind of experience. And people feel that energy, and they feel it through our words. They feel it through, seeing us on video, like they feel it through everything. So it's, it's important.
I love it. Okay, let's get into how the work affects marriage, because I am a marriage.
Cool.
Yes, this is
Cool
my
question.
passion.
Yeah.
This is what fascinates me, because it really does completely change the entire relationship. And in my opinion, it's in a good way. When you lean into yourself, it is always in the right way.
Yeah, so it definitely ends up being in a good way. Often there's a little bit of challenge on the road to it feeling really good. So, I know in my own personal experience, when I was in this real kind of at this real crossroads in my business. Like, I was like, oh my God, my partner and I wanted to buy a house. I wanted to have a baby. We needed to make sure that, we had financial security. I wasn't earning the money that I wanted to in my business. And I was like, something has to change. Like, I was desperately in that space of something has to change. And I believed in myself and I felt the vision of what was possible for me. And I chose to invest in myself with a high ticket coach, which at the time was $5,000 US. So it wasn't heaps of money, but it was heaps of money to me. And I didn't have the money and I had to borrow it from my mum and pay her back over 12 months. Like, it was a huge deal. And this is only like 3 years ago. And me making that decision, I kind of made the decision despite my partner's concerns. And we ended up separating for 2 or 3 months because I chose myself and I chose to invest in myself and my future and my business and what I saw was possible. So this is the kind of thing that I see for women that can happen when they begin to step into their power, when they begin to step into choosing themselves. There can be this kind of little bit of a wobble in the relationship, because it's kind of like, whoa, she's all of a sudden she's kind of, having stronger boundaries and she's stepping into her power and she's maybe not accepting things as easily as she used to, kind of thing. And what I've noticed is that, since I've kind of moved into a place of having more and more success in my business, And, this year we've, kind of reached multi six figures, which, is a huge deal for me when I fast forward from 3 years ago when I was telling you I couldn't rub the cents together to do a 5K investment. So huge deal. And what this has allowed is that what it's made possible is that he doesn't have to feel like he is shouldering the burden of, being the provider and being the protector and all of those kinds of things for our existing family. He's got 2 boys that we have week on, week off, and for our future family that we're building. So it's kind of like, it takes the pressure off. And I know from my clients, like one of my divine clients had her launch a few months ago, and after that launch, she had a 5-figure launch, and after that launch, her husband decided, he was like, whoa, oh my God, you can actually earn this incredible money from your healing, from your sacred work. And she was like, yeah. So he actually, workaholic, or, hard worker, he actually decided to take 1 day off a fortnight. So he works 1 day less a fortnight, which is a huge deal for him. And my client, she was absolutely like just so beside herself that this was made possible from what she was doing. So that's kind of that's the highs and the lows of the shifts that I've recognized both in my own story and that of my clients as well.
So I want to tell you a little bit. When I do my retreat and I launch my mastermind, I coach them through how to approach their husband, because of that exact thing. Where if you come from a place of, listen, this is what I'm doing, I've decided to invest in myself, and too bad on you, then it's not the right approach. You might get into trouble. But if you come as like asking, oh, can you please make this possible for me? It's like the only way I can blah, blah, blah. Like, also it's icky, it's like you're coming and begging for him to let you, it's not a good place. So there's, the 2 extremes where, like, if you're too beggy and too like icky about it, he's not going to be interested in giving you anything. Like, it just feels yucky. And if you come and be like, boom, I've put a stick on the ground and I am doing this thing, and I don't say, not a good approach either. So there's something in the middle that feels really right, where you are really true to yourself and clear with yourself first, because that, by the way, as part of my calm method, is connect with yourself, is the C, the day one. So get really in touch with, is this the right thing for me? First make your own decision, get really clear, get really in touch with yourself. Then, okay, I'm ready to go approach my husband. Once I am grounded and know what I want, I come to him. Listen, we are partners. I appreciate what you have to say. I know you want the best for me. I'm telling you, this is what I need. I know this is what's calling me. I want this, right? And then you just listen for what he says. Some of the guys, most of the guys, will be like, what? That's too expensive. What do you think you're doing? This is ridiculous. You've never done this before, right? Because it's like scary to invest in yourself. So it's even scarier when somebody else is investing in themselves with your money. Like, they get into a little panic. And then you say, listen, this is what we learned in the calm method, which is basically, connect to yourself, ask for abundance, listen for the answer, and then master a higher level of consciousness. That's my calm method.
Beautiful.
So it's like, I connected to myself. I asked God, I am now ready to listen. What is the actual result going to be? Like, what is going to actually happen? Because how do I know what God wants? Is through reality. So if my husband sees that it's possible, then things are going to move forward, which happened to one of my clients. She said, you just, sleep on it and let's see what happens. We'll pray. We'll decide tomorrow. And that morning she got an email that one of the clients that a long, long time ago owed her money paid her up front for all 3 months she had owed her for. So,
oh my goodness.
Her husband's like, okay, you go do that thing you said you were going to do, because it's
wow.
Right. So that was like, even before she committed, what she had learned in the retreat had already taken its effect. And she was The
That
other
is
lady
amazing.
that's coming up for me, she asked her husband twice and he said no. And then she stood by the door one night and said to him, I am going to ask one last time because I know this is calling me and I know this is what I want and I know what this is what I need, but I'm not going to do it without your permission because we're together in this. So I'm asking one last time. And after now, I'm never going to ask again. Can I go and do it? And he was like, oh, fine, do what you want, because he felt that she was really committed. And now, 6 months later, I just had her on the podcast. When was it? Yesterday? It was incredible. Like her husband wants her notes. He says it's not fair that I only work with women. And
Oh
he
my
wants
gosh.
part of what's going on because he sees who she's become and how she's
wow.
moved in her confidence and her leadership. And he says his success in his business is thanks to her. And she's like, so there's a way to approach it that won't feel so conflicted.
Totally.
And that's really my approach is also don't let it shake up your marriage, to the point that it's not worth going for your purpose. But then again, don't give up your purpose so that, it's not, you're not doing what you're here to do. Like there's marriage, the business, and they have to align. And when they align to God, then everything else sort of just falls into place because that is, by the way, how I approach the very delicate subject.
Yes. Oh, it's so awesome. I love it. I love that. And I love hearing about your your clients' experiences as well. That's just incredible.
What's crazy, when I signed up for the high ticket offer, that is a year program that I'm part of, because like you said, you could be, helping other people, but if you don't have a mirror to show you what's on your face, like you'll never be able to, so I signed up almost a year ago. And when I wanted to do it, I came and I told my husband, I am totally sold. Like, this is what I need. And I said, this is the thing that's stopping me. I'm so scared to lean into my leadership role. Like, I am so scared to become a leader. And so I gave him the opportunity, not only, hey, this is so much money, what do you say? But more like, this is what's going on inside me. My inner world is shaking up because I am uplifting. And so he turned to me and said, but this is what God made you for. If this is your fear, then put the fear aside and do it. And that, it blew everybody
and
away.
that is fantastic, because that takes the money out of the equation. He's
exactly.
just supporting you to be your best self.
And what are you doing about the money? I'm like, forget it. Don't worry about it. I just took out a loan for my sister and it's going to be fine. But it was like, I almost distracted his brain from thinking about all the details and the technicalities, not because I was trying to play a game. It wasn't like I had a strategy.
No, it was the truth.
Like my insides were talking, like, here is the issue. But really, it's not about the money. It's about the fear. It's about me becoming somebody. And it's scary, And so, as a husband, he was able to support me in that emotional thing. It doesn't matter if I would have signed up or not. That was worth everything.
Totally.
Worth it.
So beautiful. So beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah. So cool.
It's like, when somebody says, oh, I love how your husband is. I'm like, yeah, me too. I love him very much. It was really great to feel that support. Yeah.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Okay, Prue, tell us how people can work with you, how they could find you and your amazing work, because this is such a fun conversation. I love that we're not talking, like surface level. It's so
I don't really do surface level.
I don't either. I don't know how.
Either. Yeah, I like it.
It drains me. That's what
ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, it drains me when I have to talk surface level. It's like, oh, hi, have you been? Oh, yeah, great, okay. I get stomach aches from it. I actually did the work on my stomach aches and realized that it was from that.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Amazing.
I don't get stomach aches much anymore.
That's so cool.
It's just awareness. Yeah. So where could people find you? Sorry for distracting.
No, that's all right. Yeah. So my business is called Women of Impact, and the website is womenofimpact.com.au. We have a retreat coming up at the end of November, and we run retreats semi-regularly. And you can find all the details out at womenofimpact.com.au/retreat. And and I'm just about to launch my podcast, which is called Change Gamer, on Anchor and Spotify and on Apple iTunes as well. So they're probably the two best places to find me at the moment.
That's really cool. Why did you choose that name?
Because it's for women who are changing the game or playing it differently.
I love it.
It's time for, I do believe that women are one of the greatest untapped resources on the planet. It's why I'm so passionate about working with women. I also believe that stepping into our soul work and delivering that is one of the best ways that we can bring our light and our gifts to the world. So, in terms of looking at, the transformation that we seek outside, let's start on the inside and then bring that signature out to the world. So, yes, that's why the name.
I want to support what you're saying and say that I think, in the Jewish world, there's this, thing that when it's time for redemption, when there's like a higher level of consciousness that's going to be coming to the world, it's going to be led by women. And it's such an amazing thing to see it actually happening, how it's a communal thing. It's female energy that's just, raising level of awareness, bringing God into the world. There's something so beautiful about it. And it can only happen when you do it from your soul work, because trying to force is not the name of the game anymore. And I love that. I love the name. That's why I asked you about it, because that's one of the things that I was, I had to work through. Was I always was the good girl, the oldest and the rabbi's daughter, and everybody's like looking at me. So I wanted to do everything right. And I realized the way people are telling me to do business is not working for me. I can't just and have them like, hope to be hungry for more. Like, I need to give it all. I need to do it my way. And it's been so successful because I really get in touch with that. So I am supporting what you're saying and really in line with that.
That's amazing. Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So when you say that in the Jewish tradition that the redemption will be led by women, is it a one-off event, or is it like something that happens multiple times? Like, can you speak a little bit more about that?
So it's, the redemption is a final redemption. There's not going to be like many of them. There's like, the peak of what this world is all about is to connect to God and bring him into the world, to create that, real partnership and awareness. So it's going to be coming from a place of higher consciousness. It's going to be coming from not, running on a wheel, staying busy. All of that is just keeping you away from the consciousness. So there's going to be, we are in that already. We see that.
So I think it's like what the spiritual community would refer to as the ascension process. It sounds like the similar kind of thing. Yeah.
Sounds like it. I've never heard of it, but I'm sure that
ascension, redemption.
Globally, and it's a universal concept because it's true. So I don't think that there's any, conflicting thoughts about it. There is something amazing that's happening in the world, and with history, you see it, getting stronger and stronger. And I think now we're at the peak of like that movement getting strength and really supporting itself. Like you have men leaving their jobs to support their wives. You have, families creating different ecosystems because things are actually changing. the robotic whatever was happening until now is just not working anymore.
I love it. Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you for asking. That was fun.
Thanks for sharing. Super cool.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much to Prue. Thank you all. By the way, if you did not sign up for the retreat, you have just a couple days left because we're starting on Monday. ConnectedForReal.com/retreat. And I look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
It's going to be amazing.